You've lived most of your life thinking you were you. But what if that identity was never really you at all? What if everything you believed about yourself, your name, your past, even the voice in your head, was just a mask you've been wearing? In this video, we're going to break down what the higher self really means. Not some vague spiritual idea, but a grounded truth that can change everything you thought you knew about who you are. You'll discover why your life sometimes feels broken or scattered, how to reconnect with the part of you that's never been afraid, and what awakening to that inner guide can do for your whole life. If I told you that your true self has been silently guiding you all along, would you believe it? Drop a comment saying, "I remember," if something deep inside you already knows this is true. You were taught that your name is who you are, that your memories define your future, that the voice narrating your thoughts is you. But what if none of that is actually true? From the moment you were born, you were handed an identity, shaped by parents, teachers, culture, pain. You were told what to believe, how to behave, who to become. Over time, it hardened into a personality, a role, a mask. And like most people, you started confusing the mask for the face underneath. But beneath all of it, the achievements, the trauma, the ego, something else has always been there. Watching, waiting, untouched. That something is what many call the higher self, not the part of you that acts, but the part that observes. It's the silent witness that never changes, no matter how many times your story does. You've played many roles: student, partner, fighter, healer, but you've never been the role. You've always been the one aware of it. Think about it. Have you ever caught yourself watching your thoughts? Not lost in them, but seeing them play like a movie? That awareness is the first glimpse of who you really are. Start noticing the space behind your reactions, the quiet witness that doesn't judge or panic. That's not your mind. That's you, remembering what's real. Imagine standing in a loud, crowded room, people shouting, music blaring, chaos everywhere, and suddenly, through all that noise, you hear a soft whisper. It doesn't scream. It doesn't demand. But it's familiar. And for some reason, it stops you in your tracks. That's what it feels like when your higher self speaks. The ego? It yells. It says, "You're not enough. Do more. Prove it. Hurry up." But the higher self? It whispers calmly, clearly. You already are. Breathe. Trust. You're safe. You've probably felt it before, that split second of calm before you say something hurtful, that deep breath you didn't plan, but needed, that sudden peace during a storm you thought would destroy you. That's not luck. That's alignment. The ego is reactive, always fighting, defending, analyzing. The higher self responds with presence, not panic. And here's the secret most people miss. You don't have to silence your ego to hear your higher self. You just have to pause. Because the whisper is always there. It's been speaking your whole life. You just weren't trained to listen. Next time you feel triggered or overwhelmed, stop and ask, is this fear speaking or my truth? That one question can shift your entire reality. You glance at the clock, 11:11. You think of someone you haven't spoken to in months, and they text you seconds later. You're struggling with a question, and a random song answers it word for word. Coincidence? That's what we're taught to believe. But what if it's not random at all? What if those moments are messages? Your higher self doesn't speak in paragraphs or push notifications. It speaks in patterns. It nudges. It aligns. It weaves meaning into the ordinary. And if you're awake enough to notice, it starts to feel like the universe is having a conversation with you. Call it synchronicity. Call it alignment. Call it weird. But the truth is, the more you wake up, the more these moments increase. Not because the universe suddenly changed, but because you did. You stopped brushing it off. You started paying attention. And in doing so, you began remembering the language of your higher self. Start a simple synchronicity log on your phone. Jot down the strange timing, the repeated numbers, the eerie patterns. What keeps repeating is trying to reveal. Sometimes it's not clarity that wakes you up. It's chaos. You lose everything you thought mattered, the relationship, the job, your sense of self. You hit a wall, burn out, break down. And in that crushing silence, something inside you cracks open. That ache? That emptiness? It's not weakness. It's the higher self trying to be heard. Now that the noise has finally stopped, pain isn't the enemy. It's the invitation. It strips away the distractions, the lies, the fake identities. It doesn't ruin you. It reveals you. You've been taught to run from discomfort. to numb it, fix it, escape it. But what if that ache in your chest isn't something to avoid, but something to meet? Because when the ego runs out of tricks, that's when the higher self gets a chance to speak. Next time you feel lost or broken, ask, what part of me is trying to wake up through this pain? The answer might not come right away, but the question opens the door. Here's where most people get it twisted. You're not on some spiritual scavenger hunt trying to become your higher self. You're not earning it. You're not chasing it. You already are it. Beneath every layer of fear, shame, performance, and pretending, you've always been whole. Spiritual awakening isn't about adding more light. It's about removing the lies, the belief that you're broken, the story that you're not enough, the voice that says you have to prove your worth. You don't have to climb a mountain to find your higher self. You just have to stop carrying the weight that says you aren't already there. That stillness you feel in moments of deep presence, that's not something you accessed. That's something you remembered. Let go of one belief today, just one, that tells you, I'm not enough yet. Because the truth is, you've always been more than enough. Try to think your way to enlightenment, and all you'll get is a headache. The mind is brilliant. It plans, it solves, it calculates. But when it comes to soul-level truth, it's like using a calculator to hear a song. It just can't pick up that frequency. The higher self doesn't speak in logic. It speaks in knowing. A quiet wave of certainty that you can't explain, but you feel it. Ever had that moment where something just clicked deep inside, even though you couldn't explain why? That was the higher self, not reasoning, but resonating. Overthinking is the ego trying to do the soul's job. And that's why so many people feel stuck. They're trying to think their way home. But the path home? It's not mental. It's energetic. Today, just sit in silence for 5 minutes. No music. No to-do list. No trying to figure it out. Just feel. Just be. Let that be enough. Your mind forgets. Your past distorts. But your heart remembers. It remembers the truth that words can't teach. The feeling you get when a quote hits you so hard you tear up. The chill you feel when something resonates deep in your bones, even if you don't know why. That's not coincidence. That's recognition. You're not learning anything new on this path. You're recalling what's always been true. That magnetic pull toward a person, a moment, a message, that's your higher self tapping your heart, saying, this, right here, this is you. Truth doesn't need proof. It has a vibration. And your heart? It's the tuning fork. Pay attention to what gives you chills, brings you peace, or moves you to tears. That's not emotion. That's soul recognition. Your heart saying, I remember this. You'll know you've touched it, not because everything is perfect, but because nothing feels missing, not because all your problems vanished, but because you're no longer defined by them. The higher self doesn't need validation. It doesn't hustle for worth. It doesn't perform for approval. It simply is. You feel it in the moments when you're not trying and still feel whole. When you're not proving anything, but you still feel powerful. That's not ego. That's your original state. The real you. Underneath it all. It's not loud. It's not flashy. It's not chasing anything. It's lightness. It's clarity without control. It's peace without a reason. It's joy that needs no cause. Notice who or what gives you that effortless sense of peace. Then start shaping more of your life around that. Because that feeling isn't temporary. It's the truth waking up. Here's the part no one tells you. The moment you start awakening, your ego freaks out. It'll whisper doubts. Who do you think you are? You're imagining things. This is dangerous. Go back to what's safe. It'll distract you with old habits, toxic patterns, and fake urgency, anything to pull you back into the familiar. Not because it's evil, but because it's terrified. The ego was built to protect you. It's the part of you that survived, that adapted, that kept you safe in a world that didn't always feel safe. But it doesn't know the difference between protection and limitation. And when you stop living from fear, it panics, thinking it's dying. Awakening isn't always peaceful at first. It's a battlefield. Not outside, but within. When fear rises up, pause. Don't fight it. Whisper back, thank you for protecting me, but I've got this now. That one line can begin the shift from survival to sovereignty. If this is hitting home, if something inside you is stirring, you're not just hearing these words, you're remembering them. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're waking up. If you're ready to go deeper, hit subscribe. This journey doesn't end here. And drop a comment saying, I choose truth if you're walking this path too. Let others know they're not alone. Not everyone will get it. Some people will say, you've changed. And they're right. You've remembered who you were before the world told you who to be. And that kind of shift? It scares people still living in the dream. You'll outgrow old conversations, old environments, even old versions of yourself. And that's okay. You're not here to convince the people still sleeping. You're here to embody truth, whether anyone claps for it or not. Growth isn't loud. It's not always pretty, but it's real. And real makes people uncomfortable. Release the need to be understood. Let your energy, your peace, your presence do the explaining. Awakening can feel isolating, like you're the only one peeling back the layers while everyone else keeps sleeping. But here's the truth. You're part of a vast, unseen community. A lineage of seekers, mystics, and souls walking the same path. You're not losing your mind. You're waking up. This journey looks different for everyone, but the essence is shared. The confusion, the breakthrough, the moments of deep peace, they're universal. You don't have to walk this alone. Books, podcasts, groups, these are bridges connecting you to others who remember too. And the more you surround yourself with that energy, the faster you'll remember. Find a space, any space, where others are walking the path. You'll realize the path feels less lonely when you walk it together. Ever felt a sudden calm in the middle of chaos? Or a knowing without words, like something inside you just gets it? That's not a random moment. That's your higher self, alive and present right now. It's not some distant, unreachable idea. It's not hiding in the clouds or another dimension. It's here, inside you, always waiting for you to notice. The higher self isn't about reaching or searching. It's about recognizing what's already been there. In any moment, you can ask yourself, what part of me is showing up right now, fear or truth? That question alone can pull you back from illusion to presence. Practice asking this question throughout your day. It helps you tune in to your truth, to your higher self, to yourself. Many think spiritual awakening means quitting your job, moving to the mountains, or meditating for hours. But the truth? Real alignment lives in the smallest choices. It's telling the truth when it's easier to lie. It's pausing before reacting. It's choosing peace over proving a point. Tiny moments, repeated daily, create enormous shifts in your consciousness. Your higher self doesn't demand grand gestures. It honors these subtle, sacred decisions, the ones that align you quietly but powerfully. Every time you choose presence over reaction, you're waking up a little more. Today, make one soul-aligned decision. It might be silent, subtle, but it's sacred, and it matters more than you think. There's no finish line, no final exam, no graduation ceremony. Spiritual awakening isn't a destination you arrive at. It's an endless unfolding, a dance of shedding layers and stepping into deeper truth. Each layer you release reveals another, deeper, truer, freer. And that's the beauty of it. Your higher self is infinite. So are you. When you stop waiting to arrive or become, the journey stops feeling like a grind and starts feeling like a remembering, a dance you've always known how to move. Stop waiting for the perfect moment or sign. Your awakening is already happening. Let it unfold naturally. The shift isn't loud. It's quiet, but it changes everything. You stop forcing things to happen. You start flowing with what is. You stop controlling every detail. You start trusting the process. Your higher self doesn't scream for control. It surrenders to truth. Surrender isn't giving up. It's the higher self's superpower. When you align with that deeper presence, fear loses its grip. You're no longer in survival mode. You're learning how to truly live. Ask yourself, what am I forcing right now? Then, gently let it go. As you awaken, something unexpected happens. People start feeling it. Some get inspired by your energy. Others get confused or triggered. Some are drawn in, others pull away. But all of it is a reflection. Your energy teaches louder than any words could. The higher self doesn't preach or argue. It simply is. Your presence becomes a lighthouse for those still lost at sea. Without saying a thing, you guide others by showing up as your most authentic, grounded self. Today, show up as you, silently and powerfully. Your true self is the light others need. Your higher self isn't interested in job titles, achievements, or approval. It asks just one question. Are you aligned? Purpose isn't something you do. It's a frequency you embody. When you're in your true resonance, the right path unfolds naturally. No chasing needed. It's less about what you do and more about who you are. You remember that purpose isn't a checklist. It's the energy you carry. It's how you show up, day after day. Ask yourself, what truth am I here to reflect back to the world? That's your purpose whispering. You've waited for the perfect moment, for the right sign, for someone to say, go. But here's the truth. You're already on the path. This very moment proves it. You don't awaken later. You awaken now. The higher self isn't a distant destination. It's a choice you make again and again, moment by moment. Say it out loud. I choose to remember who I am. Awakening to your higher self isn't about becoming someone new. It's about releasing everything you're not and remembering what's always been true. If this stirred something deep inside you, don't stop here. The next video might unlock the next layer on your journey. Subscribe, stay curious, and keep remembering.